Remain inside safe zone. Be advised, safe zone relocating.
Sending stun.
Safe zone sector secured. Objective: eliminate severe corruption. All corrupted sectors purged.
Glad to see you're still kicking, soldier. We were starting to worry. Here's what we know from the data you've acquired. The Guild is doing some kind of research on Mason Seal.
Alright, this whole entire video, I wanted to not say a whole lot. I was like concentrating, but basically, I basically designed my player to like, basically crowd control. So every now and then I'm getting overwhelmed by a lot of stuff going on. As long as I got some things that help me with crowd control, I think I'll be fine. That's why I got the vortex going on. And so basically my setup kind of worked. So, and on top of that, I had to remember that the 2 self-revives is back here behind out of bounds. So it's a combination of my setup and learning this a little bit more, because I figured that if I keep doing the same thing over and over again, I'm going to get better at it, obviously. So it is much easier to do this with one extra person, because as long as one person, just one person, has the dome, then I can pretty much do this. Yeah, so I mean, there's a few places that I learned that I can duck undercover, but there's some places that I simply cannot duck. But at the same time, I know that there's a couple of self-revives on the map. So sometimes I'll use the self-revive, and I'll just keep my my crash cart in case like I have no choice but to use it. And on top of that, the other thing that helped me out also is my weapon itself is way stronger. I set it up that way to be stronger. So I'm going to end this video now, but I'm just going to give y'all an update of like what my setup is and what was working for me flawlessly. All right, so basically, I've been trying to figure out the best possible setup for me to make myself a little bit more viable. And to tell you the truth, every like setup that I start with one section at a time. Let me turn this fan off so I can hear myself a little bit easier. Here we go. All right, so basically, let me tell you how I designed my player. I designed my player, so let me start off with the abilities. I got Bulldozer, I got Eagle Eye, and I got Berserker. Now, this particular setup means that every time I kill an enemy, right, just a basic enemy, as long as I can kill him a little bit, I get some of my armor back. And if I can get some of my armor back, that's great. And then I wanted to do more damage. So out of all of the different the skill streaks that have multipliers, this one has the most multipliers. So I know that I can do a ton of damage. And this right here is going to save me from explosive rounds. So there's a lot of times when they try to throw grenades at me, and I was like, that gives me time to reload because it's pointless. Now, so what I did was my two weapons right here is the hyper surge, and I got my AK-27. Now, the one thing that's the same about them is I wanted to do the most damage I possibly could. Sometimes I set up my guns at like for crowd control and all of that stuff. I said to myself, let me just do one thing at a time. I want a weapon that can do the most damage possible. I'll worry about the crowd control later. So what I did was I set my gun up to do more damage. What I did was I put let me see, sharpshooter. That means that anything in the upper torso, I'm gonna do more damage. And majority of my shots now, they don't even have to be that accurate. I see yellow hit markers all the time. And that means I'm doing a ton more damage than I normally do. And on top of that, I got incendiary on it, so I'm gonna burn them, which is gonna do even more damage. So I be doing the utmost damage out of I ever did before. Like I actually before I was like I'm surviving, but I'm not doing the damage I see on YouTube. I'm seeing the damage now with this setup and my hyper surge. I wanted to see what it was like. So basically, I put the incendiary, and I put the sharpshooter on this as well. That means that and on top of that, this actually shoots kind of accurately. So the majority of my shots are shooting really, really good as far as damage goes. And then I wanted to do something about crowd control because I was like, okay, I got my weapons to be where they are damage-wise. So let me focus on crowd control. I got a couple of ways to deal with this. Number one, I like to use stun grenades. Out of all the things that I tried, right, stun grenades helps me out the most because the thing is sometimes it works on humans and it works on those other red things that are like alien looking things. It works on everything. I can stun everything and it's like, okay, let me get them off my back just for 1 second and then I can just start shooting them again. So that's what I help with crowd control a little bit. The other thing is my abilities. My abilities that I had to like try out for myself that works for me is this gravitational thing, because there's times when I'm getting lit up way from a distance. So even if I had shattered shield, there was times when people literally shoot me from a distance so far away that like even like when my shield breaks, it's not going to do nothing for them because they light me up from a distance. But this gravitation reaction base, and that helps me out a lot. And there's a lot of times when they shoot me like crazy, and then it takes care of that. And then my nightmare, which I decided to go with, I had a choice between two different ones that I was going to get. And basically, the one that I chose to go with is this Frost Vortex. Basically, this Frost Vortex, don't get me wrong, it was between this and Chaos Rounds, and I feel like the Chaos Rounds is kind of like Elemental Pop. Isn't a bad thing. It's just that it's gonna give me a little bit of everything. Don't get me wrong, I'm still gonna test it out to see like the bottom line what it does. It's just that to me, I feel like the way the game is, right? The way the game actually is, it's gonna just constantly give me a random thing, and I don't want to go try a burn of enemy, and I shock them instead because I got this on. Because it's like elemental pop. So to me, I feel like I want my gun to only burn the enemies, and I want my other thing for crowd control to do something completely different. That's why I got the frost vortex. So as I'm shooting into the enemy, it just creates this crazy vortex, as you can see in the video. And I said, okay, that means that every time I shoot an enemy with my bullet, I'm gonna burn them, and every time this activates, then I'm gonna freeze them with the storm. Two completely separate things. So the algorithm is not going to let me shoot an enemy, and I might freeze them by mistake, or I might turn them, which isn't a bad thing. It's just that I wanted this to I just figured, let me just try this, and every now and then when I'm getting like overwhelmed and I'm trying to shoot some enemies, try to get some of my ammo back, the vortex just activates. And when it activates, they all get stormed up. And when they get stormed up, I can start shooting them. And the moment I start shooting them, I get some of my armor back. So, and I said to myself, I'm pretty much good. Let me try to do this on my own. And don't get me wrong, it was still kind of difficult. But, I mean, I'm glad that I feel like I got a thing that's really, really wrong with my setup that holds me back a lot is the fact that I can't reload fast. That's the only drawback with my setup. Because the thing is, in order for me to have this, basically I traded in damage for stability. So what I do now is I do as much damage as I possibly could, and I try to reload. I try to use this gun mostly, and I try to have this one at 200 rounds. So I'm shooting this gun as much as possible, and I know that I can reload this one fast, and then I can keep going. But in the event that the enemies is right on me and I can't reload fast enough, then I'll just switch to this gun. This already maxed out with full ammo, and I can usually take care of all of my enemies with the 200 rounds that I got with this. And then once like the wave is over, then I make sure I reload both my weapons. It's kind of like a letback, but the thing is, there is a little bit of good news though. Season 4 is about to come out, and when Season 4 comes out, you'll be able to do an additional ability. So I was thinking about getting Gunner, because the thing is, my setup is exactly how I like it. The only drawback I have is I can't reload fast. But the moment I get Gunner, I'll be straight. And to tell you the truth, I mean, since I can add another ability, technically I can add any ability that I want. So I could keep my ability exactly the same, and I could put on Tactician, for example. If I put on Tactician, then I'll be able to have even more stun grenades. And if I was to die, that means I can build up my crash card, and I can get up more faster. So I could be a little bit more, I could weigh that to my advantage, or I could put on, I could put this on so my bleed out time is a lot longer. I mean, the sky's the limit. I have like a lot more options to deal with, but since my setup is pretty much really good, I might just go with Gunner, because I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of miss the reload fast, the plating up fast, and and on top of that, I get ammo. The ammo thing is not that big of a deal, but my aim down sight accuracy is gonna be even better. And I'm not really worried about the shock thing. But so basically, when I get that extra ability, it's gonna be a toss up between Gunner and Tactician. And the thing is, it's not every day I'm probably gonna do a nightmare dolo like this. So, I mean, to tell you the truth, a lot of the times that I died, I simply died because I couldn't reload fast enough. But if I have Gunner, then that probably wouldn't even be the case. I could probably just reload super fast and just stay in the fight. But like I said, it's kind of a toss-up. I guess I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But anyway, let me just end the video now. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out. End this video now.